Let me tell you, if you had smell-o-vision, woo! Cheapies on Amazon, you know what I mean? Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're back on my square body C10. Last episode, you seen us clean out the injectors. This episode, we're gonna try to get this thing to stop. We're gonna work on the brake system a little bit, try to figure out what's going on, why the front brakes are sticking, fix the rear brake lines somewhere, wherever it's just pouring fluid everywhere. Because I figure once we do get it going good, we're gonna need to be able to stop it. And it's getting a little dicey right now, just driving around the yard, testing it. So stay tuned, see what we can figure out on this, get it on the lift, see what it looks like underneath the truck, and hopefully get it to stop. So even though it's a small item here, we did get the antenna mounted, and it is a side mount antenna, which is really cool, I think. And me and my son did this, so I'm kind of happy about that. He got to learn how to install the antenna and get that dialed in. The other thing we did was pull off the rocker panel that was pretty much non-existent. Damn! And so now it's really non-existent, you can see. And when I say pull off, I literally mean pull it off by hand. So I got some rocker panels coming, inner and outer. We're gonna be replacing those, but we got it out of the way so that it's not just hanging down like this and just dragging, and where we're gonna leave basically rusty metal all over my yard when I'm driving around. So that's squared away. So that's another thing we got done. Just getting it in the garage is always a project. Stand by. Everything is full in here, even though I built this shop so that I wouldn't have this issue, but somehow I have filled it up to the point where I have stuff sitting outside again, which is crazy. We'll get this thing fired up, get it out, lower the lift, take the Jeep, get it out, get that guy, put him on the lift, get it in the air so we can get underneath it, see what's going on, and get these brakes dealt with. It's always a project around here, even when you got to put a car in the garage. All right, so we got it up in the air. We know we're going to take the front wheels off and get the calipers off and see what's going on there, but let's see if we can find where the fuel tank was leaking and where the rear brake line was leaking. So the fuel tank, you could see, was leaking, and it's all wet right up in there. And let me tell you, if you had smell-o-vision, woo, this stuff stinks. It is super old. The fuel was black. See, it looks like, actually, it looks like it was leaking right there to me. It looks like it's corroded and just started weeping and ran down. Ugh, it stinks so bad. All right, now the brake line, it's wet here. All right, looking, we're getting close. It's soaked. All right, that's it right there. You can see right there, that clamp, it's all rusted, and I bet you there's a pinhole right behind that clamp. That's pretty common for that to happen, so that means this brake line's gonna need to be replaced. This whole brake line from the rear end all the way up to the front. I do want to check the soft line back here. Stand by. Let's move this. All right, now we're here. Okay, that is a little bit corroded. Yep, this rubber line, pretty dry rotted. I'm not sure if you can see that in the camera, but this is going to need to be replaced, which, because if we're changing this already, this is the line that goes all the way to the front. You can see how nasty that is. When I go take this off, it's gonna be a mess. So I might as well change this. The only problem with changing this is it has this block here. So what that means is you gotta take these lines off. A lot of times when you go take those off, these break or strip. So might end up changing all the brake lines in the rear. So there's that. So we have a good idea what we need to do here. We need to replace all the brake lines in the back. So next thing is get these off. Oh, it looks like we got new calipers. So that's good. Why are they sticking? I'm not sure, but we do have new calipers on both sides. So has the sticker on there. So we gotta figure that out. We'll get them off, see what's going on. This tire, oh man, this tire does not look good. Oh, I don't know if you can see that in the video. This tire is like skinny. This one is flat, like it should be, nice and squared off. You look at this one, it is not squared off. Oh boy, that is a problem. Yeah, that tire is about to blow up. That's not good. That is not good. Can you see the dry rot between the treads. This thing is coming apart. Holy cow, there's the thread. Oh man, that's bad. You can see the belts in there. Okay. Might need a set of tires. Might need to address that at some point. We're gonna get these wheels off, get the calipers off, see what's going on in there. Put this thing down to a height where we can actually reach it. Probably be pretty helpful. Alrighty. Oh, hey, we got some travelers. Check that out. Mud daubers. Mmm, yummy. Woo, look at this tire real quick. Come over here. So this passenger side tire. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, that's bad. Got a chunk missing right there. Another chunk right there. But on the top, inside these little tread pattern here, is bad. Look at this. Can you see that? I can see the air inside this tire. It is not good. And it has like a twist to it. Oh man. It looks fine over here, but over here, that is not good. But, you know, we're gonna have to definitely keep our eye out on Marketplace for a set of good used tires to replace these bad boys. No, I might come off the wallet. We'll see. Might get some new tires. I don't know. Find some cheapies on Amazon. You know what I mean? Farmer had a dog and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O. All right, let's see if we can get her off. Oh yeah. She's gonna need some persuasion. Stand by. Yeah, just taking the old calipers off. Woo-wee! She's on there. Let's go the old pry bar method. How about that? See if we get anywhere there. We can get behind it. Oh yeah. All right, let's take a commercial break for 1 second here. Should be getting bad gas mileage. All right, now this is just ridiculous. Yep, we can't even turn the rotor. That's how tight this thing is clamped on here. Yeah. Yep. Break, take a break. All right, back at it. Keep working at this. I'll get back to you here in a second. So we're gonna crack the line and get some pressure off. Oh yeah. Oh, yep, there's pressure. All right, some fluid coming out. Hopefully, it's in the line, I guess, if that's a good thing. Yep, there comes the... All right, so we're in business. Yay! Woo! Yeah, a little bit of heat. Man, I'm guessing our problem is either in that line or in the proportioning valve on the other side. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's just the line. I'll just replace that line anyway because it's a rubber line and it doesn't look like it's in awesome shape anyway, so we'll probably put 2 new rubber lines on the front too while we're at it. So get a piece of wire here and get this out of the way and we'll check back in here in a second. All right, so took a little break because I don't have parts. I'm gonna have to get some rubber lines for the front, change those out because I'm guessing that this one is messed up. I hope it's not in the proportioning valve, but I loosened that up, pressed on the piston, it pressed right in, so the caliper's free, and you've seen the calipers look new, so I think we're good there. So we're gonna get some new rubber lines. I'll order the new rear line and some brake line for the rear, probably some extra in case I gotta do across the side too, but I need to get that flexible there, the flexible's here, and then start installing them, and hopefully these will be good. We'll replace that line going to the back and we'll be dialed in there. And hopefully we'll be able to stop this baby because once we get this thing ripping with some horsepower, we're gonna need some, we're gonna need some brakes to be able to slow this baby down. Since I gotta wait anyway on some parts, I ordered flexible brake lines for the front and rear, a coil of 1/4 inch brake line in the nickel copper. And I'll just make my own brake line from the front to the back. I'll flare it, put all the fittings on, get it exactly how I want it. But until then, since I'm waiting on parts, I'm gonna go ahead and yank this fuel tank out and yank out all the fuel lines going to it. Eventually I will put dual tanks back in this truck, but for now, this one's shot, the fuel lines are shot, so I'm just gonna rip all this stuff out and possibly rip the brake line out. I'm not sure yet, but definitely the fuel tank, fuel line. I've already pre-soaked everything in some penetrating oil. So we'll get this out and move along. So hopefully we'll get those parts soon. Well, just got the tank dropped down, and right above the tank, if you look right in there, yeah, that's a wasp nest. Woo-wee! That was close. All right, let's get this tank out of here. Yes! Perfect. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get these fuel lines out of here that you can't see. So I'm gonna rip all that stuff out, probably rip out that brake line, get it ready, so when we get some parts, we can start jamming this baby together. So I'll see you when we get some parts. All right, guys, so it is the next day and a lot has happened. So let me flip you around here and show you this. All of these lines I got out of the truck. So this is all rear brake lines, fuel lines. This is a makeshift line that they had made for that tank. So I ripped all that stuff out. Obviously, you've seen we got the tank. Now, we're gonna have to take these brackets off here because we'll need that later on for the new tank whenever we get to that. And also, let's just go inside here real quick and let me show you what else happened. Oh, we got some new meats thrown on these wheels. Check those babies out right there. Those are the Taiagas HTs. So pretty much same quality as a Goodyear, I'm guessing. So I don't know, we'll see. They're all balanced, ready to go, way better than what we had. You've seen the other ones, they were completely destroyed. So some brake lines showed up. We don't have everything, we're still lacking the driver's side flexible, but we got the rear passenger side, got my Eastwood flaring tool, got some 3/16 nickel copper brake line. I'm gonna run over the axles. The Stop Shop makes it, and this is a really good brand. They flare really well. Be careful when you buy stuff in the nickel copper because some of it flares just terrible and you'll never get a good flare. I'm still lacking the 1/4 inch line that goes from the front of the truck all the way to the back. So that's supposed to be here today along with that driver's side flexible line. But for now, we got some of the parts, we got some of the stuff to get moving on the rest of the brake system. So I'm gonna go ahead and start jamming some of that in right now. All right, so I'm gonna start with this flexible brake line in the back real quick. Now I'll just give you a quick idea why I'm starting here, because this is basically gonna set up everything in the rear when it comes to the brake lines. Let's get that clip on. And I know you can't see that good, but basically this line right here is gonna set everything up. This will be, the line will come from the front and it has to go in right here. And then the 2 axle lines going to your wheel cylinders, gotta mount in right here. So I need that length, I need this in basically to set up everything in the rear for the brake line system. So got that in, I'm gonna go ahead and start making those lines for the sides. I made a template for my brake line out of this coat hanger here. Works great for fuel lines, brake lines, things like that. Got this one all ready to go and in shape. Took this little spring deal off the old brake line. That'll help protect it where the metal clamps are that don't have any cushioning over the axle. Protect that, got it cut, deburred it with my deburr tool. Put a little bit of lube on there. Do not forget the flare nut. Done that before. That is not fun, especially if you cut your line to the exact size that you need it, which normally you do, right? Get that guy on, and then we'll just use this Eastwood tool. This thing is awesome. Makes perfect flares every time, which I shouldn't speak ahead because that'll be the time that it messes up, right? Let's hope not. So basically press 3 times, 1 to flush it up, operation 1, then operation 2. That'll be it. Loosen this up, take her out. All right, man, that looks good. Look at this flare. Every single time, this thing just does not disappoint. It makes perfect flares. Love this tool, it's super easy, way easier than the old school tools, and it's a lot faster too. So this line's ready to go. go in the back, throw it over the axle, and we're one step closer to getting some brakes on this bad boy. The hard lines are in, they're connected to the soft line, they go across, go to the wheel cylinder over there. Got the sheathing from the old line on and wrapped around so that it'll protect it from that clamp. Both sides are ran and hooked up. So now I'll just head to the front and get this line thrown on real quick. So we're just pecking away at it a little bit at a time, but we're getting there. Okay, so flexible brake line, pretty straightforward to change. When you get up in here, as your line goes down to the caliper, but you get over here and you can see that this guy is loosey-goosey. It is not supposed to be like that, in case you were wondering. It's been sitting like this, with the hard line just chafing in the frame, and how it's supposed to go is this line has threads on the end. This is supposed to go in the frame like that. The nut goes on the backside, holds it in place, nice and tight, but that definitely did not happen. Let me tell you about that jam nut. Very hard to find. So, ran down to the local Ace Hardware, and let's see what we found down there. So we found a couple nuts that are nylon lock nuts. They're thin. They're a 5/8 fine thread. They were $1.79 a piece, and this is gonna work out just perfectly. So, it's not exactly the right hardware to be in there, but it's the right hardware, I guess, because it's what we have. And that's what's gonna go in there. It's gonna work perfectly. And I'm going to go ahead and continue to change this straightforward, easy to change flexible brake line, because probably won't run into any issues, I'm sure. Woo, that did not go easy. That line did not fit well. But it is in. Let me just show you what else happened since you were gone. New parts showed up. This is the 1/4 inch version of the stainless braided spiral wrap stuff for the brake line to protect that. Some Stop Shop, nickel copper, and 25-foot roll of 1/4 inch. The brake line for the driver's side. And we are ready to go. So on the passenger side, it was a 90, just like this one, and it needed to be more than a 90. And I had to bend that. Also, this dimension where you see that's kind of twisted, that was off. I had to tweak that over. Whew. It was not straightforward, let's just say that. You would think that they would have this stuff figured out. I mean, this truck was made from 1973 all the way to 1987. You would think that Dorman and some of the aftermarket would have a brake line figured out and it would just bolt right on. But that is never the case. So, going to move on to the driver's side. Should be an easy install. This is the line off the driver's side, the brake that was sticking. We stuck the carb cleaner down in here, gave her a spray. If you watch down at the bottom, it's just, look, it's just pushing the carb cleaner back out. It's not coming out the bottom, it's just pushing the can. So this line is no good. It is plugged up. That's our problem. That's why our line, or our brake was sticking. So it's pushing fluid through and it's holding the caliper tight. That's our problem. We got a new line for this. We get that replaced. That should be a good fix for that. Same problem on this side. I'm gonna have to grind all these corners down and round this because it won't fit. Also, this bend is not correct, so I'm gonna have to tweak all this. So I'll do all that and get this baby installed. Right, so we got this flexible line in on the driver's side. All we had to do was, you know, beat it a little bit, twist it, bend it, grind it down. Fits perfect now. No chafing, everything's tight, this thing's ready to go. I'm gonna go start on that rear brake line, front to back. And then we'll get these brakes bled, and this thing will be ready to get out of the garage. Woo! we got the line all in and ran back the frame. So I'll show you that real quick, and then we're gonna flare that back fitting, and then we'll be ready to start bleeding these things. All right, so starting right here at the proportioning valve, you can see I wrapped this stainless wrap around and then put clamps, and it goes around, catches that clamp, goes down through the frame, over the cross member, just continues down, another picking up with some clamps here, and I wrapped it the whole way with that wrap. Kind of kicks out over this shock here and then goes all the way to the back, which leaves us right here at the end where we're gonna hook this thing up. We made a nice smooth curve. We're gonna come right into here. I'll slide this union on and I'll get this flared up. I'll show you how I flare it on the vehicle and not in the vise. All right, so this is the tool that I use when I'm flaring on the car. This is very similar to the tool that we use on the vise. You can see these blocks are pretty much identical to what we used over there. These tools work awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this flared real quick, get this hooked up. All right, so the flare came out awesome. That tool is great, it's super easy to use. This will fit nice, we'll get a good seal here, so I'll go ahead and get this hooked up. I might add a clamp right up here too. We'll see how this falls when I'm done, and then we're gonna start bleeding these brakes and get this thing ready. Okay, pump. Hey, let up. Stand by. Good, pump it. On the floor. Pump it up. Okay, you can let go. Stand by. All right, so it's free. Go ahead, stand on the brake. Nice. Let off the brake. All right, so that's fixed. We should have brakes now. Everything's bled. Well, this thing is fighting me tooth and nail. It does not want brakes. We replaced all those lines, started bleeding it, couldn't get fluid in the back. The proportioning valve was stuck one way. We had to get that thing unstuck, take it apart, go in there, move it around. I didn't show all that, but we did that. Got fluid back there, bled everything out, and take a look over here after we did all that. Stand by. Let me get you in here. So right here under the master cylinder, if you look right here, this little stream is fluid. This guy is leaking out of the back of the master cylinder. Yep. So yeah, now it needs a master cylinder. So we're gonna have to bleed all the brakes again. I'll probably just get a new proportioning valve while I'm at it. Might as well just change everything. Not gonna change the booster yet. Cross my fingers on that. So I gotta order some more parts. While we're waiting on parts, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video right there because it's getting a little lengthy and it's just fighting me every step of the way and having to wait on parts. That's how projects go sometimes. And you can ride the struggle bus with me while we get this baby stopping, and we'll just make a part two once I get all the parts and we get this stopping again. We can hopefully get it driving with some power. So again, thanks for hanging out with me. Like, subscribe, share, all those things if you would. It really does help the channel. See you in the next video.